lieutenant colonel. He's also a Hall of Fame basketball coach. But more so than that, he is an awesome individual, just a great man. He's my OG, which says a lot, my mentor, and also my big brother. So, as we get into his story, we have also a lot of Marines that's in the comment section that can attest to that. But his following is amazing. And I just wanted to say this. I watched something on TV yesterday, and they was talking about money. And it was like, one of the guys said, well, I got more money than you. And I was going to pose this question on Facebook, but having Coach here, it goes to show that money means nothing because it's all about how you affect people's lives. Okay. And so I answered my own question. But without further ado, everybody give it up for Mr. James Jones, y'all. Yeah.
Hey, thank you, brother. Thank you for, first of all, I thank, all you guys for allowing me on the show. And, I feel honored and humbled and privileged to have this opportunity. So thank you. First and foremost, all praise to God for having us all here and doing some positive stuff. So, give glory to God for that. But, I'm really proud of you, Judge, for getting this going and your crew there. This is a different time, to be a Black person in America. There's so much positive stuff going on in this world right now. And, it seems like we take so much time focusing on the bad stuff that we stop looking at the good things. And there's a lot of good things going on. There's a lot of positive Black people doing good stuff. So, big ups to you guys and, much respect to y'all for what you're doing.
Thanks, Coach. Appreciate that.
Yeah, man.
So, Coach, before we start, I want to get into your background. Coming from Southeast DC, before you joined the Marine Corps, let's give everybody a little insight. One parent home, two parent, and how you find yourself in the Marine Corps.
Yeah, like you said, I'm originally from Washington D.C. and like so many people back in those days. I was born in 1962. There's a lot of single parents homes back in those days, just like they are now. That's nothing new. And oh, by the way, big ups to the strong Black women in America that's been raising all of these single parent homes. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
They don't get enough respect for that, so I'm gonna give them a shout out. But anyway, coming up in a single parent home, it's real easy to get into stuff. When you don't have a man there trying to raise a young man, it's just a path to trouble. So coming out of DC, as you said, Judge, I started off playing sports, but eventually, the lure of the streets is pretty strong. It's much stronger than your coach saying, "Hey, we got to run 10 suicides today,"
Right.
and or that job offer from McDonald's, which was paying a minimum wage back in the day with $4.25, paled in comparison to the job that was being offered out on the corner every single day.
Big fact.
So, I don't know if you want to go back and forth here, Judge. I can keep talking, but
no, keep going, Coach.
Well, I just like so many kids, that were in DC in the 80s, like I said, eventually gravitated over to the drug game. And, what's crazy about that is, my mom is a Muslim. And, I was raised by my grandmother who was a devout, Baptist. And, then when she went away, I went to live with my mom who's a Muslim and, marched with Malcolm X and, Elijah Muhammad and those folks. So to be dealing drugs, out of that, kind of house, just wasn't a good thing. But, when you're out there doing that thing, you don't realize how many people you're hurting. And more importantly, you'll do anything to continue to do what you're doing, to continue to make that money, to continue to use that product. But my drug dealing days, I wasn't the best drug dealer because I was too good of a drug user.
Right.
No, yeah, I was a decent drug dealer. I was an exceptional drug user.
Right.
Yeah, that's not a good combination.
Right.
So long story short, at the time DC was in the middle of leading the nation in murders, I think 8-9 years in a row. And Like anyone with an addiction, I lost money and I lost product, and as a result, I pretty much had a contract put out on me to, end my life. And once I found that out, I decided to uh, get out of there before they found me in the ditch somewhere. And
I know that's right.
as God would have it, I got lucky enough and found the Marine Corps, and then that's where it all started for me over there.
Did you look for, like, okay, because I know my Marine Corps recruiter, he kind of stumbled across me. Did you go to the office, or how did that work out?
Well, yeah, it's funny. The night before going in the office, me and three of my friends that we all went to high school with, we decided we were all going in the military, and I decided I was going to go in the Marine Corps, and because it was the hardest one, and I felt I needed that. I needed that. I needed somebody to get my behind, and so I decided to do that, and I went up in there, but. Needless to say, Judge, I was a little scared, so I had to, medicate myself before I went in there. And like all recruiters, even though I was in there reeking of alcohol and, all kind of stuff, he told me I was just what they were looking for. So
That's right. That's right. And we fit the bill.
Yeah, exactly.
From the streets, broken family.
Yeah.
Hey, you know what, Coach? That's the same reason I joined the Marine Corps too, because it was tough and I needed that discipline.
Right. So many, young African American males are, like I said, coming up on the street by themselves. And, hey, you can go one way or another. You can go drugs, or you can go sports or something else, but you're going to have to pick a side sooner or later out there on the block. You can't, it's few and far between who don't have to pick a side and get on the team somewhere. The drug game, the sports game, the other games, the robberies or whatever. And, they're all out there, and they're still out there. That stuff hasn't went anywhere. It's just minimized and overlooked now because it's primarily in the pockets of the Black community. So it's not an important thing, but I will tell you that if it was in other communities, then it would have more relevance and more importance in the national media.
Absolutely. So joining the Marine Corps, did you plan on just doing 4 years, or how did that go?
Yeah, well, I tell you, when I first joined, I just wanted to get away from the people that was trying to kill me back there. So, I was like, hey, long as I can get away from DC, I don't care how long I leave. But as God puts you where He wants you to be, and as we've gotten older, we all understand that. That wasn't luck that I just went to join the Marine Corps. It was destined, from God. And, I went in there and found out I liked it, and how they reward you for working hard and doing the right thing. And after a while, as when you were in there, it becomes easy, and it becomes your family and your brotherhood. And next thing you know, I said, hey, I might want to stay in here and do this, because I can't go back to DC and get my old job. I think that's not open.
No, I don't think you want that job back.
That vacancy had been filled.
So the transition from being a Marine to actually, because what everybody don't know, Coach Red actually was still balling in his mid to late 40s. He was still running ball with us, just like one of the guys, putting in that work. So, the transition from being a basketball player to being a player coach, how did you find that, your niche as far as being a young Marine transitioning over?
Well, it's funny, the loud red kid was always used to being in charge or talking, because you had to learn how to talk in the hood, or else, somebody would talk for you. So you either learn to speak up or get taken advantage of. And, that learning that I needed to speak up eventually led to forming neighborhood teams with the white beaters and the magic marker number on the jersey and the whole
yeah.
I started coaching when I was 17 years old. And, this is my 41st year of coaching this year, consecutive. And, it's just a blessing from God. But, the transition from playing into coaching, it was seamless, because I started coaching almost the same time I started playing almost. And, somebody's got to gather the troops and, talk some trash, and it always kind of fell on me. And as we went along, and I started having kids myself, I said, this is a way to give something back, and to be able to talk to these young people, regardless of their color or their religion or their sex or anything. It's a platform to talk to these people. So I started off wanting to be a John Thompson, or somebody of that caliber, Coach K, and I ended up wanting to be just somebody that could get an opportunity to talk to these guys, and that's what happened. I'm not, as I would tell you, Judge, that I'm not worried about being a great coach. I'm more worried about being a great person, and trying to set a good example for these young people.
Absolutely. T, She-Bear, y'all got something?
Do you miss playing? And
Oh yeah,
right.
yeah, oh yeah, definitely. I still coach, and I coach AAU. Have done that for the last 6 years. Third different state, and I still coach men. And I will tell you that I still go out there and work out with them, and I even played with some of our guys here, not too long ago, and played outside on the concrete with them, and played inside the gym the next day. And I told them, if my old self can do it, then you can do it. I paid for it after that, T, but I definitely relished the opportunity to play, and I miss it. You miss. I tell those guys every practice, you better enjoy it. It doesn't last long. So it's a blessing.
And how did you come across Coach Popovich? And what's the biggest misconceptions about?
Well, I was coaching all Marine team while I was in the Marine Corps, and back in 2012, Armed Forces Championship down in San Antonio, and our guest speaker before the tournament started, which is a tournament consisting of the top players from the Army, Navy, Air Force, and Marine playing for their respective services, called the Armed Forces Championship. I had the honor and privilege of coaching the All Marine team at that time, of which I had the blessing of doing that 8 separate times. That was to be my last time coaching before I retired. Guest of honor was Coach Pop. Brought him in, so, they brought the coach in, and he's someone I always respected. And what a lot of people don't know about Coach Pop is the fact that he's a former Air Force veteran. He played all Air Force basketball. He played at the academy, and he's a big time supporter of BLM and positive change in America.
Oh, yeah.
And that's been proven over and over. And I didn't know that at the time. I'm a Lakers fan, so I didn't like Coach Pop or anything affiliated with San Antonio. But it was a blessing to talk to him, and as I did get to talk to him, and over the years, as we kind of stayed in touch a little bit, I will tell you he's a very staunch supporter for everything that you represent on this show.
Okay. Judge, did you see what Nell wanted to ask?
Yeah. Go ahead, She-Bear, read that.
I can't see.
Okay. It says, we always have advice for the youth. What advice can we give the mature so we can relate better to the youth, so they can understand our path and how we are here for their help and benefit?
Man, that's a great question. If you don't mind, may I say something?
Absolutely.
Can you hear me?
The floor is yours,
so
Coach.
I would like to I would just like to give a piece of advice on that. As a father of 4, as a grandfather of 2, I think I have a little experience working with people. And to that person, or to that adult who asked that question, I would tell you that you need to stay synced up with your kids. I had some folks ride in my car one day, and he says, why do you still play rap music? You're too old for that. And I said, well, yeah, I like the beat, because I'm from the city. But more importantly than that, I want to know what these guys are saying to my kids, so I can relate and talk to them about it. And
Absolutely.
because if I can't talk to you about what's going on out there on the block that's displayed in our music and talked about all the time, then who are you going to talk to? When I didn't have anybody to talk to, I found somebody, and it was the dope man. So, I would tell that person that you have to stay connected, and you have to stay relevant in your family's life, in your kids' life, even when you don't want to, even when you don't want to hear that stuff, even when you don't, want to talk about the new fashion styles, or what's going on with their girlfriend, or the new designer drug that's out there. Even when that stuff bores you and ticks you off, you still have to make the time to do it, because if you don't, they'll find somebody that will talk to them, and there's plenty of people out there waiting to talk to them. So stay connected and keep the communication going, no matter what. Even when you don't like it, it'll pay off later.
Absolutely. Great advice, Coach. So with that, and you've been doing this for so long, as far as a mentor and leader. Oh, by the way, D, you remember D, our old manager and basketball player? She's still high.
Yeah, love you, D.
And Miss Bastion too.
Yeah, love you, Miss Bastion. Big Bastion, love you guys.
Coach, have you going back so many years and being a Marine Corps, a leader and on the court, how have you seen the temperaments of the generations change? What are these kids like now? The shifts.
Man, growing up in the 60s, being born in the 60s, it started off with, I'm happy to be outside. As the 70s evolved, it was, I'm happy to be outside and don't, be late before them lights come on. When the 80s came, it was, I ain't never going back inside. I ain't never going back inside. I went days at a time not going inside at all, not coming home, same clothes on, that kind of thing, and as the 90s came along, a lot of people changed, and it seemed like our families have divided and separated. And a lot of it started with they took prayer out. They took God out of the schools. You can't even pray no more. You can't pray. It's illegal. You can't talk about God. You can't, and I tell you that, God and our faith and our religion was something that was there that, kept us together, even through slavery, even through back then. And they pushed that away from us. And I will tell you, it was intentional. It was intentional. The further we are away from God, the further we are, away from, doing the right thing. So I will tell you, I was sad about it. And, I just hope we continue to come together, man. Continue to come together. So many opportunities to fight each other and be a part. And, it's good to see things like what you guys are doing and highlight those things, and I appreciate it.
Yeah. So I know that got to be big for you, actually seeing us march together to now everybody shooting and killing each other in our community.
Hey, man, I tell you, man, I know I'm old, and my kids mess with me all the time because I will tell you that, I cried that day, and I was teared up. I really was. And, they were in Arlington where I live, and it was a crowd of maybe, 3,000 or 4,000 people. It was Black, white, Asian, Indian, Hispanic, males and females, and everybody was fighting to get up to the front of the line. Not so much to be on the cameras and all the news stations were out there, but because they were passionate about doing the right thing. And I put something on Facebook about, I'm so proud of our young people coming together. If they can do that, then why can't we do that? As adults and as leaders and as mentors. But we're gonna have to, get a little more about the team and less about ourselves. We need to start doing stuff for the team, i.e. the community, the family, the schools, the businesses, and things of that nature. We can't always try to put money in our pocket until we help put money in everybody else's pocket, and then it'll help trickle down into the community. So, it's all about we and not about me, but we have to start thinking about other people other than just ourselves.
Right. She-Belle, you got anything?
I just want to say, first of all, I thank you for your service. And I definitely thank you for coming back into your community and helping our young boys and, the girls as well, because they need that guidance, because I don't know where at and what point they got lost, but our children is lost. And a lot of people often blame it on the parents, but I know parents who raise their children in a different manner. It's something that they putting in the water or they Kool-Aid, because it's not, they just come out into a whole different, room. And sometimes they go out there and they don't have the proper guidance when they get into these situations. So when you had people like you that came back, I really thank you for it, because a lot of us can't do it by ourselves. Like you said, we got to be a team. You know, we can't have the parents out
That's
there that
right.
when the children want to fight, they want to come in and now the parents want to fight the other parent instead of saying, okay, let's figure this out. And you know, y'all got to live in this community together, so let's try to figure it out. You know, so I really
Yes, ma'am.
appreciate
I
everything
totally
you
agree.
did, and you know, hearing you and talking to you, I really don't have no questions because you answered. You know, I'm just fulfilled with everything you just said.
Right.
Yeah, I appreciate that, ma'am. And you know, I think, you know, at this point in our life, as we become older, you know, again, you know, my little slogan is it's all about we and not about me. As we get older, it's
Yes.
less about what makes you happy and what makes you successful, and it's more
Mm-hmm.
about what makes the team win. And the team
Yeah.
is the family or the community or the school. And when we support those things, it just filters down. That goodness and that winning filters down to everyone. So shows like you guys are doing and positive things of this nature are an example of the things we got to do. We got to get back in the schools, back in the communities, back in the churches. You know, we got to get back out there on the corners and talking to people again. And it
Definitely.
starts with, you know, something small, like something you're doing. And next thing you know, you guys might be on CNN or something. So I need to stay connected for when
That's
that
right.
good check.
We got you.
Indeed.
We
I need to
got you,
stay
coach.
connected. No, hey,
Hey,
no doubt.
listen.
I need to stay on
Hey,
the good side.
oh no, we got you. We gonna take care of you. Hey, Zach, I got your question.
Yes, sir.
I got your questions, Zach. But I wanted to. I'm gonna get that to you. But for a lot of our guys are civilians. That's in our cyber family that's watching.
Yep.
So I want to explain exactly because Coach, uh, he actually his career came from the rough. He started out as a private, right? You started as a private, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
E1 bottom.
He started out as an
Absolute
E1.
bottom.
So the way I'm explaining this is like this. When I break his career down, he went from having a temp job, right? He was a temp worker. Let's say he was a janitor. He just had a temp job. It wasn't even nothing permanent. To being to getting a permanent position. From that permanent position, he became a manager. After he became a manager, he became like a district supervisor. Then he became like a chief executive officer right next to the person that owns the whole operation, the whole company. So if anybody that just worked the job, and you can understand going from the absolute bottom to sitting right next to the right hand man at the top. So I mean that in itself is so inspirational. He went from a private, he went all the way to a staff NCO, then from a staff NCO went the warrant route, and from the warrant route went to be an officer and retired as a lieutenant colonel. That in itself, for somebody coming from Southeast DC, is like hitting the lottery. That's how special
Hey,
that
look,
is.
you know, hey man, I'm gonna tell you, man. Hey, you
Exact
put water in
stupid.
my eyes. Hey, you put water in my eyes because you never know when God calls somebody to give a testimony, man. And in the stuff that you just said, I'm thankful. But what's crazy about it, Judge, is I didn't even believe I could do any of that. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You know, I didn't believe in any of that, any of it. But you know, when God takes a hold of your life and puts you in the right direction, you can do anything. And
That's right.
you know, it just starts out with somebody extending a hand, just a hand. You know, and that's all I needed was a hand and somebody to you know not give up on me. And so often, man, we give up on these young people too quick, too quick. You know, all we remember is you know, how good we were as a youth, and we forget all the stuff we did. You know that
Right.
you know, like we didn't do some drugs or you know jack something or fight somebody or smoke. You know, we weren't perfect. Our generation wasn't, and neither was any of the generations. So we
That's
got to
right.
stop judging these young people like they're so terrible and be a little harder on ourselves about what do we need to do. As the young lady said, what do we need to do to touch these people? There's a lot of parents that's working their butt off and trying to help these young people. And I know they get frustrated because they're not successful, but don't give up. Don't give up. Hey, if this store's not open, go to another store. If this food don't taste good, find something else to eat. If these jeans don't wear, buy another pair. Hey, if this kid won't listen, we'll find another way to talk to him. We won't give up. Don't give up
That's
on our
right.
young people. Yeah, because hey, oh by the way, just as an additional motivator, hey, when we continue to get old here, you know who's gonna be taking care of us.
That's right.
So don't give up on them. You don't want to be thrown in some corner somewhere. But if we don't teach the young folks, the right way to do things, hey, so don't give up on these young people, man.
Yeah, you always said
I remember
that.
this guy named Leon Judge I used to have, man. And I said, man, this guy right here, man. He said, Coach, you don't know nothing about me. I'm from the hood, Coach. I said, yeah, me too. Hey, there's a hood everywhere. There's a hood everywhere.
I was transitioning.
Every state has a hood.
I was transitioning.
Well, like I just said, my brother, God puts you where he wants you to be, when he wants you to be there. So there was a reason you joined the Marine Corps. And I always told you back in the day, I said, Judge, you got leadership ability. I think you'd be a good leader. You said, nah, Coach, I'm not. That's not me. That's not for me. And nah. And look what you've done. Coaching in Bethel and coaching the military and doing this show. And, I would tell you this and stop running my mouth. But in closing, never tell God what you're going to do. Pray and ask God. Pray and ask God what you want me to do. Don't tell God what you're going to do. Ask for some guidance. It's not hard. Just pray, man. He'll talk to you. Hey, look at you, Judge. Look at me. That's the only reason we're here.
That's right. Hey, Coach, before you go, some people need your wisdom.
Yes, sir.
Okay. What advice can you give this transitioning military man? He talking about go Army, by the way. He's a good friend. He about to come on, actually. What advice can you give him about transitioning? He just retired from out of the military.
Transitioning to the civilian, after the military, and it's difficult. I would tell you, it's a little difficult. After 30 years, I was completely lost. Got dressed to go to work a few times after I retired, and someone had to tell me, hey, you're not in no more. And I was actually dressed going out. I mean, it's difficult. But what I would tell anybody is, first and foremost, thanks for your service. I appreciate your sacrifice. Thank you to your family for their sacrifice. And I would tell people, you got to lean back and have a good time, relax, let your hair down, get up off of that. You're not in the military. You need to relax and enjoy the benefits of the fruits of your labor. Fall back and let the next crew have it. They got it. Sit down and relax and enjoy your life.
Absolutely. Miss Basher said, this is why I started a life coach for kids business, my passion and mission.
What a blessing. Hey, you look at all the guys and gals that have worked with us, Judge, that so many of them are coaching now or mentoring now, and even their kids are coaching and mentoring. And a lot of that started way back there in little old Havelock, North Carolina, in that, little musty gym that we were all in. So you never know, where greatness is going to start. Like Sergeant Major Kent, who's Sergeant Major Marine Corps, said one day, bloom where planted. Wherever God puts you down, do great things right there, and you can do it. You can do it no matter what. You can do it. You can do it. And like you guys are doing.
Appreciate it, Coach. Look, hold up, before you go, we got to talk about all the gold we won. And we ain't talked about our basketball team. And we was going up and down the East Coast. Hey, Coach, tell them. Look, professional players, D1, D2, D3. We pull up in the hood. We play in the project. Everybody got the smoke.
Hey, man, I love, we love competition, not only as men, but as, military guys. And it's funny you talk about the hood. And I used to take my teams into the worst location, the worst competition, where we were going to get cheated and maybe robbed or mugged, or, it's people smoking weed and, selling drugs. And people ask me, why would I take my team into that environment? And I said, it's a heart check. If you stay on board through all of this adversity, then the rest is easy. Anybody can look good when we're playing in the gym on base with 20 Marines. Let's go into the, down to the hood and play with the boys. We all the dope boys in there, and all the other gentlemen and ladies that are associated, with that environment. But I would tell you that if you go down there and play hard and show respect for people, they'll respect you. It's not about how much money you have or what shoes you got on. It's about how you carry yourself and how you treat people. period. No matter where you are in the entire world, from Iraq or Afghanistan to Southeast to, Norfolk, it's the same way. Treat people with respect, carry yourself, with some respect, and people won't bother, period.
Hey, Coach, I never told you this, but I used to love when we went down there. I felt like I was home. I had my best games in those. After the game, y'all go ahead. I'll find my own way home. I used to love going to the hood.
It's funny. It's funny you say that, Judge. 30 years in the Marine Corps, and every time I would go TAD, on a work trip throughout the country, I would always find the hood. And at the middle of the night, 12, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the morning, I would drive through the hood. New Orleans, St. Louis, Compton, Houston, all over the world. And I always drove through the hood because I wanted to see, what was so bad about this place and how our people were doing. And, it's humbling. It's humbling. Whenever you start complaining about how bad you got it, hey, think about some of these other spots. Think about these people that's out here lost their jobs and struggling, can't feed their kids, can't pay their bills. Hey, it's humbling, man. It's truly humbling. And I feel you about, hey, I want to go see our people. That's what I always did, Judge. Always.
Yes, sir. Zach says salute, Coach. That's our Army guy. He said salute, and D said, man, I miss those days.
Yeah, man. Yeah, what a blessing, man. It's a
indeed,
true blessing.
man.
So, yeah, so I don't want to hog you guys a podcast, but man, I just tell you, I'm so thankful to have the opportunity to say anything, to talk to you guys. I'm thankful for all the work you folks are doing. To the young lady on there, hey, much respect and big ups to all the females, the moms and the sisters and the daughters. We got to do better for our Black women too. We need to do better. We need to protect them, and we need to nurture them and support them. We need to do a better job. And so I'll put that plug in for you and all the women out here. And then finally in closing, man, like I said, yes, ma'am. Finally in closing, I would just tell everybody, we need to stick together, man. We need to stick together, period. There's no victory in doing your own thing or being your own thing. No, that's the divide and conquer. No, we're stronger together, my brother. Like the 5 fingers on this hand. Hey, each one could potentially, injure you if I poke you in the eye or whatever. But you put this thing together, it goes from a finger to a fist, and it signifies power and unity. Unity. We have to stick together and help each other. And I know it gets hard. Judge, you got on my nerves all the time, but I still
hey, hold on. Hey, let me tell you. Let me tell y'all before let me tell y'all, me and Coach got into it one day in the gym. Listen. Look, so this before we became close. So I'm beating him up. Everybody, Coach, know I love to play defense. I'm beating him up. He got mad. He gonna tell me, "Hey, Judge, stop. Hey, man, hey, Judge, you gonna start fouling me? It's gonna be something." So I say, whatever. I say, man, it's whatever. I say, I respect your game, but I ain't scared of you. And then we became the best of friends.
Hey, the human mind plays. Hey, my man says my mind playing tricks on me. My body, my mind thought I was still 21, and my mind reminded me, no, you're like 41, so you need to fall back.
Hey, no, that was a hot check. I respected it. And
hey, look, it's a whole lot of brave, strong people that's dead right now. So discretion sometimes, learning how to take a step back sometimes, that's not being a punk. That's just being smart and choosing your battles, man.
Yes.
I had to turn about 50 before I learned it, but I learned it.
Chief Petty Officer Henson says, thank you, sir, and salute. D said this was hilarious.
Man. Hey, appreciate you, brother. Yeah, appreciate you, brother.
Oh, no, that's a sister. That's sister. It's all good.
Oh, sister. Okay, appreciate you, my sister.
Strong sister, too. Yeah, awesome. Okay. So I got to get Coach his roses before I let him go. I think that, as you guys can attest to, y'all know I don't co-sign anybody, but he is the epitome of leadership. And a part of leadership is being a great listener and being there for people. And I recall a lot of days after games, we would just sit on the bus and just talk about life. And one of the biggest things that Coach always said was each one teach one. I mean, we talked about that profusely all the time, man. I think on behalf of Sunday Night Wind Down, not just being a guest, And thank you for your service. But thank you for being a great service from the man above, and showing us the proper way and saying the proper things and in alignment of how to live peacefully on this earth. So I just wanted to get at you, Coach, and let you know I love you, brother, from the bottom of my heart.
And look, yeah, thanks to you and your crew, and love all you guys. Much love and respect for what you're doing. You are making an impact. You are making an impact, and you know, God knows your heart. God knows what you're doing, so He gonna always support you because you're moving in the right direction. So appreciate you guys. Much love and respect, and thank you for the opportunity. I appreciate it very much.
Before you
Thank
go,
you.
I got 5 questions, a couple questions for you. You ready? You
Go
on the
ahead.
hot seat.
Good.
All right. Beef or pork?
Beef,
Religious or spirituality?
unless it's spirituality.
R&B or hip hop?
R&B.
Netflix and
hip-hop
chill
swing.
or movie? What'd you say, Coach?
I say R&B with a hip hop swing.
Okay. Netflix and chill or movie theater and a dinner?
Movie theater and a dinner, but you know, based on COVID, we'll see how that goes. The movie theater and a dinner. Yeah.
Prayer or meditation?
Man, prayer is a form of meditation. So prayer.
Okay. And last but not least,
Yeah.
D, I want to see how this go, D. Last but not least, what's your favorite curse word?
Wow. I got a lot of them.
We know.
MF's always been a go-to one.
Okay. So look, he's a changed man. He don't even say the word no more.
Right.
Yes.
No, I can't say that.
I said for you, motherfucker.
You know, hey, look, I'm trying to be wiser in my older age, and you know, if you yell every single time at your players or at your kids, then when you do yell and it's something important, it doesn't resonate as well. So I've learned to kind of use a measured approach, and if you're always quiet, that's wrong, and if you're always yelling, that's wrong. So you know, you gotta pick your battles.
Got you. Hey, Coach, thank you. We appreciate you, and hopefully we can get you on soon whenever your schedule permits.
Yeah, well, this thing's already blowing up. This podcast, you know, visit is already blowing up. I'm about to do a book signing over here. You know, well, not really, but I hope one day. Thank you.
Hey, Coach, I'll send you the YouTube link to send your players.
Yeah, great. I appreciate it, and look forward to helping out again in the future. And also got some folks that are doing some similar stuff to what you're doing, and I think would be a great networking opportunity for all you guys to kind of pool your resources and do something spectacular for, you know, the Black community as a whole. So much love, man. Much
we
love.
with it.
Yep. Yeah, brother. Already, you know, it's all about we and not about me, baby. It's all together. All of it.
That's a fact. Hey, everybody, big salute. Big salute for the man, the myth, and the legend, Coach Red. Thanks, Coach.
Hey, thanks, man. Hey, much love and respect to you guys. Appreciate you.
Appreciate it. Everybody throwing you hearts too. And simplify, my brother. Yep.
Hoorah, Marine Corps.
Hoorah.
All right, I'm out of here.
Hey, y'all, that was an amazing testimony. You know what I mean? An amazing guy that I can tell y'all, you know, just real. That's all I can say. All right. So what you T, where we at with it? Where we going to daddy issues, or I think we should go straight to battle of the sexes.